One day after the writ of election was issued for the Hougang by-election, political parties contesting the polls introduced their candidates today. The People's Action Party's candidate Desmond Chu will make his second attempt in Hougang, and the party's second Assistant Secretary General Tharman Shanmugaratnam emphasized that the by-election is a local contest about who the voters want as their representative in Parliament. As Ramesh reports.
34-year-old Desmond Chu was fielded in the 2011 general election but lost to the Workers' Party candidate. Since then, he has continued meeting Hougang residents at weekly coffee sessions, something he resumed just 2 days after the last election.
Desmond has shown with his actions that he is someone you can trust, someone who genuinely cares about people, and someone who will always be there for his constituents. That's the way he has always been, sincere about helping people.
Mr. Chu acknowledged that the contest is going to be tough.
I'm an old man fighting this battle. Nothing beats a defeat to reflect upon what you can do better. And that's something that you'll find that I've done repeatedly. But one thing that came across to me very strongly was there is no substitute for quality work. There's no substitute for quality relationship. There's no substitute for being able to deliver what you say.
The People's Action Party says Mr. Desmond Chu has continued to help the residents of Hougang even after losing in the general election last year, especially those with lower incomes. Mr. Tharman Shanmugaratnam says it has not been easy for Mr. Desmond Chu, but he has kept going, and the PAP believes he can do much more as an MP. The Hougang by-election is expected to be a straight fight between the PAP and the Workers' Party.
Mr. Loh is clearly confident, I would say ultra-confident, having held Hougang for 20 years. But we shouldn't trivialize the election process. I don't think you can say that doesn't matter if a candidate turns out to be responsible, doesn't matter what he's like. If something turns up, something goes wrong, if after a few weeks we can't get an answer, we'll sack him, hope for an early by-election, and don't worry, we'll produce a new candidate. I think that trivializes what has happened.
When it comes to serving the residents, it is not about that 10 days of campaigning. It is about the work and whether you deliver a difference on a daily basis over the time that you've been here. I think that's the more important part to focus on. If you ask about the strategy, our plan has always been a long-term one.
Nomination day will be next Wednesday, the 16th of this month.
In a move that surprised few, the Workers' Party has announced Mr. Peng Eng Huat as its candidate for the Hougang seat. Joanne Chan, who was at the party's news conference this afternoon, reports.
In recent months, Mr. Peng has increased his presence in Hougang and become a regular Meet the People sessions with his party's Secretary General Lau Tia Kiang. Mr. Peng stood in last year's election as part of WP's East Coast GRC team, scoring 45% against the People's Action Party.
I'm from the Workers' Party, so definitely the brand name plays a big part. Same thing with the other side, So my strategy is a very direct thing. I visit every home. Yeah, I make sure I meet as many residents as possible and I make sure I talk to them.
The 50-year-old businessman has served in Hougang's welfare arm since 2006, taking care of the needy and elderly. Asked if he's confident of a good win,
I wouldn't like to speculate on the chances, the percentage, but this is a first-past-the-post system. Simple majority, to me, is a mandate.
Described as a mature candidate, Mr. Lau called Mr. Peng a person of integrity with the desire to serve the people. Mr. Lau said it was a unanimous decision to field Mr. Peng as the candidate for Hougang. Mr. Peng's second shot at the polls comes after former Hougang MP Yao Shin Leong was expelled from the Workers' Party amid allegations of his extramarital affair with a fellow party member. Deputy Prime Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam took the Workers' Party to task over how it handled the Yao affair. Mr. Tharman said the way the matter was handled trivialized the election process. Charges denied by the WP.
The reason why we have to take the drastic step to expel Yao Shin Leong, and it has actually a broader perspective to that, because Yao is a member of parliament, he's not just a member of the party. And we believe that it's important for parliament to have responsible MPs.
Mr. Lau also played down views that Mr. Peng is riding on the Secretary General's familiarity with Hougang.
When I go back to Hougang, it's not, I 回娘家 lah, so not so much of helping to campaign. But it's natural for me to go back to Hougang, even after the last election.
Mr. Peng says he's worked the ground on his own in the last few weeks and has covered almost all the estates. And if elected, he plans to raise issues like upgrading, better transport and more elderly-friendly facilities in the ward in Parliament.